Today, we are dining at one of my favorite restaurants in Epcot's World Showcase, Chefs de France. This restaurant just got a new Michelin-starred head chef, and along with it, some new menu items. So we're gonna see if Chefs de France is still worth the hype. Chefs de France consistently ranks high for me when it comes to World Showcase dining. I think they have some of the best French onion soup, the best salmon dish at Disney World, and some of the coziest views. But let me specify, because it's been a few years since I've dined here for lunch or dinner, but the last time I was here was actually for the special brunch that they had. They offered this during the Food and Wine Festival last year, and it was an all-you-care-to-enjoy bottomless mimosa, bottomless champagne, bottomless pastry brunch. And we all know how that went. There was a lot of room for improvement, but I've never had a bad lunch or dinner meal here at Chefs de France. As I mentioned, it is hands down one of my favorite restaurants to dine at in the World Showcase. I even think it's better than the very expensive, very fancy restaurant upstairs. So as soon as I heard they got a new chef, I wanted to come out and see if it stands up to how good it used to be. Of course, we've got a nice cozy little table here by the window, amazing people watching. It's pretty toasty outside, so it feels good to be in the AC here in Chefs de France. Now, this chef did come from a Michelin-starred restaurant, so I'm expecting all of the food to be very good, maybe even better than it always has been in the past. And I want to show you guys this menu here. Everything is laid out in one shot. It's very convenient, actually. We've got all the food over here, all the drinks over there, and then in the middle, our prefix dining option. So you could see for $67.95, you get to choose an appetizer, one of the entrees from the list right there, a dessert, and then a glass of wine or a non-alcoholic beverage. Important to note, this is also included in the dining plan if you did have that. But moving on from the prefix menu, they also have a bunch of different wine that you can choose from, and actually only a handful of cocktails, none of which I have had before. They have a French fashioned, which is new. They have a French martini, which sounds delicious. They have a sparkling wine cocktail and another cocktail, a Saint Germain cocktail. I'm thinking I'm gonna go for one of these cocktails today, but I also noticed something in the top corner of this menu that I wanted to point out. This is what I'm talking about. They have George's special selection of either Chardonnay, Pinot, Merlot, or Cabernet. A glass only costs $9.95. Is that the cheapest glass of wine that you could get at Disney World? Under $10 or about $10? That is very, very cheap. But of course, we're here for all of the food, so I want to show you guys the food that they offer here. As for the appetizers, they have an escargot, they have a French onion soup, which is my personal favorite, and then all three things at the bottom are going to be new. They have a house salad, a salad with some baked goat cheese, and they also have a smoked salmon spread. Here's a look at our entrees. There's honestly a bunch of different ones to choose from, and I'm excited to maybe try some things that I haven't tried from the entree menu before, because every time I come here, I pretty much go for that salmon because I love it so much. And of course, our desserts are listed down here as well. And I haven't tried many of these either because I always go for the creme brulee because it's my favorite. But honestly, a lot of these desserts sound really good. So we're going to go ahead and order a bunch of stuff, some stuff that I haven't tried before too. Now I'm looking forward to trying all of that food, but I'm also looking forward to trying this cocktail here. I've never had it before. It's a French martini with Grey Goose, Chambord, pineapple juice, and a lemon lime foam for $18.95. Now I've had a French martini before, but never from Chefs de France, and look at how good that foam looks. I'm very excited for that. Oh, that's good. That's very good. I feel like a lot of times when there's pineapple juice in a cocktail, the pineapple juice flavor kind of takes over everything else, but that's not the case here. There's like the perfect amount of pineapple juice to where you can just taste it, but it's not the only thing you taste. This cocktail does lean a little bit more on the sweeter side, but I feel like that sweetness is balanced out very nicely from the amount of Grey Goose in here. It's pretty strong actually, which I didn't expect. And it's also balanced out really well by that foam on the top. It adds a little bit of like tartness and sourness to combat that sweetness. And it's also like creamy in a way. It's very good. I am very impressed by this. I didn't expect it to be this good, and I will definitely get this again. Unless I went with that $9.95 glass of wine. But honestly, this is the perfect cocktail to sit on And watch everyone walking by. Actually, Belle just walked by too. Now to go with my martini, I also ordered 2 appetizers. One that is an old favorite, something that I get here every time I come, and also one of the new salads. But before it cools down, let's dig into this French onion soup. This is topped with Gruyere cheese for $13.95. So it's certainly an expensive French onion soup, but it's also pretty large. Now it's probably been at least 2 years since I've had this French onion soup, but I don't think it looks like how I remember or how I got it last time. It doesn't look like there's a lot of cheese, and it also looks like there's quite a bit of oil on top. Well, let's get a little cheese pull going on here. Hopefully there is one. We shall see. Yeah, I really feel like they changed this. The cheese is like clumped together and not fully melted. It like you could see the shreds of cheese when you just pick up this giant cheese ball that's in this soup. And I always like when my cheese is kind of crusted over the ends. That is not what I'm getting here. And the broth also looks a lot lighter than I remember as well. I hope it still tastes as good. So my initial thoughts is that it's definitely different than the French onion soup I've had here in the past. It's missing a rich, beefy kind of flavor. It almost tastes like they're making this with chicken broth instead of beef because it's really lacking that richness and that saltiness as well. This cheese was not melted properly. Like you could still see the shreds as I'm eating it. And I wish it was kind of crusted over and nice and toasty, and that was not the case with what we got here. It's also lacking quite a bit of onions. Like if I scoop up some soup here, I mainly get broth and pretty much no onions, which again is a little bit different than I remember in the past. But with all that being said, is it still an enjoyable French onion soup? 100%. But it's just different, and I feel like it used to be better. I used to be content with just coming here and getting this French onion soup and people watching, but now I'm not quite sure. In fact, when I went to Bourbon Steak for the first time over at the Dolphin Resort, I said that Bourbon Steak and Chefs de France had the best French onion soup, and I needed to come back here and get it again to fully do the comparison and decide my favorite. Now I think the winner is clear. I think Bourbon Steak has the best French onion soup on property here. It's just missing something. But next up, we're going to dive into one of the new additions to the menu, the baked goat cheese salad with grapes, tomatoes, endives, and mixed greens for $16.95. Now, I believe they had a version of this salad in the past, but when they got the new chef, they kind of changed things up a bit. So it's a little bit different, but we've still got that baked goat cheese on top, which is obviously the part I am looking forward to trying the most because I love goat cheese and I've never had this salad. So I'm curious how this is going to be. We've got a little fried puck of goat cheese. It looks like it was fried a while ago though, because it's like not very melty at all. It's just a huge hunk of goat cheese, which I'm sure is still going to be quite tasty. So let's cut off a piece, get some of these toppings. I want to get a grape too. There we go. Salad, grape, and goat cheese. I really like the dressing that this salad has been tossed in. It's like a very light balsamic vinaigrette, and I feel like that dressing pairs really nicely with all of the other flavors going on. At first, when I saw there were grapes on this salad, I was like, grapes on a salad. But then I realized, you eat grapes with goat cheese, and I actually really like the grapes on this salad. When you get a bite with kind of everything, it's really a delicious bite. Obviously, that goat cheese adds just the perfect creamy tang that this salad really needs, and I like it. I do think it's a bit expensive for $17, especially since it doesn't have any meat in it. I feel like some bacon in this, some thick cut bacon in this would be actually delicious. But it's still really tasty. I do feel like frying the goat cheese was a little bit unnecessary because it wasn't freshly fried. So it's not super crispy and the cheese inside isn't nice and gooey at all. So the point of frying it gets kind of lost because you don't get that like crunchy texture from the batter because it's really not crispy because it just tastes like it's been sitting in the fridge for a little bit. But the goat cheese itself, is obviously very good. Well, we just finished up our appetizers. I have one tiny sip of my martini left. And I think we're going to enjoy some bread now. Look at this amazing crusty baguette that we got here. It's the same one that they serve in the bakery. You get a little half baguette. Let's break into it. Oh my God, I don't know if you guys can hear that crunch, but it sounds amazing. And look how like nice and stretchy that is. This is an amazing baguette. Okay, we got a little salted butter here. And I'm just gonna dive right in and dunk our bread into this butter. Oh yeah, this is so good. This baguette is just too delicious. I could honestly come to Chefs de France and get a baguette here with some butter, get a French martini, and that could be my meal. That's how much I enjoy it. But like I said, you could also get this baguette at the bakery, which I enjoy doing. I think it's like $2 for the half of baguette. It's super cheap, super affordable. But they also sell it in a full baguette, which one of these days I'm going to get a full baguette and bring it home to eat with dinner that I make or something. And as much as I want to eat this whole baguette that we've got here, we have to save some room because our entrees just arrived. Now this first dish we're going to try is the Ratatouille. This has an olive vinaigrette as well as basil and tomato sauce for $28.95. This is the plant-based offering on the menu, and how good and vibrant does this look? I got it just because I figured, hey, I've never had Ratatouille before and I'm in the France pavilion. We might ride the Ratatouille ride after this, so I figured it's time to finally try Ratatouille. And all of my Ratatouille knowledge comes from the movie. I know it's pretty much just a stack of vegetables, usually zucchini, eggplant, tomatoes, and then some type of tomato sauce. But honestly, for what it is, this looks fantastic, and I'm very excited to try it. So let's cut off a little piece. Oh my God, it's reminding me so much of the movie, which obviously, is that a mushroom in here as well? Nope, that's the eggplant. So we'll try all three of the veggies dunked in that little sauce on the bottom. Oh, and they also put some like olive tapenade, so I feel like we should get a little bit of that as well. Our first bite of Ratatouille. The veggies in this are cooked really nicely. They're still firm, so they have a little bit of a bite, which I appreciate. I do not like a soggy vegetable, and that's not what you get here. I also love this like tomato sauce that it's in. Almost tastes like it has a little bit of like red pepper mixed in there as well, and it's really good. It's a great sauce. And I don't know if it's traditional, but this little olive tapenade that they have on top is really making it for me. I love that vinegary brininess kind of paired with everything. This is a super flavorful dish, especially for it being plant-based. My first bites of Ratatouille, and I really like it. But since I was saying how good that sauce is, I have our baguette here. And I want to kind of soak up that sauce with the baguette. That might be the best bite of the day so far. That crusty baguette dipped in that delicious tomato sauce. So good. And I guess I like Ratatouille, my first time having it, and it was a success. I don't think they serve it anywhere else at Disney. It might only be here, but I think this is really tasty. And if you eat a plant-based diet, I definitely would say come here to try it out. Now, I also ordered another entree, the Gulf shrimp with sea scallops, a spinach pastry, and a creamy lobster sauce for $39.95. I ordered this for a particular reason. One of my friends in my Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not a part of my Facebook group, make sure you guys go join. It's called Main Street Foodies. The link's also in the description. But everyone shares their favorite food in the group, their favorite foods at Disney World. And my friend Randall from the group loves this seafood dish here. So I figured it was finally time to try it out. Now, we've got 3 scallops, and these scallops are huge. That's a pretty big scallop. We've also got 3 very large shrimp in this sauce. It looks like it's going to be like a lobster bisque. And we have our pastry in the middle. Now, I was informed that you're able to add some pasta, a side of pasta onto this dish for like, I think he said like $6 or $7, which is a little bit pricey for just plain pasta. But he said it's really good to kind of soak up the sauce, and I definitely could see that being the case. Or you're able to change up the spinach puff in the center to get pasta instead of that at no additional cost. But I just wanted to kind of try it as is. So we'll see. Let's try this sauce here first. That sauce is like the most luscious, delicious, creamy, buttery lobster bisque. It is so good. And now I'm kind of regretting not ordering pasta to soak up all that sauce. It's so good, but we still have our baguette to do so. Let's try a scallop. I love scallops. And we'll kind of dunk it in that sauce as well. Nicely cooked and super soft. That scallop literally like melts in my mouth. The scallop itself doesn't have much seasoning or anything on it, but all of the flavor is coming from that sauce. And when you kind of soak the scallop in the sauce, it gives it all the flavor it needs. We of course have our shrimp here as well, which like I said, I just cut the tail off, but this is a very large shrimp. And of course, we've got to dunk it in all that sauce. Again, really nicely cooked. And sometimes when you get those larger shrimp, they're a little bit tough. That is not the case here. And obviously that lobster sauce just pairs perfectly with this. I think I get the hype about this dish now, but we still have one more thing. We have this little spinach puff, and there's like a puff pastry on top of some sauteed spinach here, but I want to eat it together. And this little puff is going to soak up that sauce nice as well. There we go. Ooh. There we go. Simple but delicious. And I don't think anything on its own has a lot of flavor or a lot of like seasoning necessarily. But like I said, the sauce, this creamy lobster bisque here gives everything in this dish all the flavor that it needs. And of course, we gotta try one other thing. Baguette in sauce. Absolutely delicious. I love this dish. Everything in it is perfect, and I will be ordering this again. Now it's going to be a toss-up as to what I'm going to order. The salmon that I love so much, or this dish here, but I definitely found another favorite entree in Epcot. I love it. Now I am stuffed, but we have to move on to dessert, and usually when I come here, I get the creme brulee, and this creme brulee is very, very good. I love it here. But I figured I'd try something different this time around. And they have a bunch of things that actually sound delicious. But I hear this baba is new. So I might go with that. Oh, wow. And it comes with a little presentation, too. Is that the rum?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Shave the
Little bit of lime. That looks delicious, thank you. Here we have a vanilla-soaked brioche with tropical compote and vanilla whipped cream for $14.95. I definitely was not expecting all that, but I love a good tableside presentation, and it's fun when a dessert comes with a tableside presentation. And I know it said it had rum in here, but I don't think I was expecting it to literally just be like a shot or two of rum kind of just poured on top. I expected them to maybe like light it on fire, something to like burn the alcohol off. But no, it's literally just like straight up rum on this cake here, which is super interesting. I guess they just like to serve their desserts with alcohol here in France. I think they have one at Monsieur Paul upstairs. They have like a sorbet that they have alcohol in. And of course we have the martinis that they put the gelato in as well. So this is definitely an interesting dessert, and it's new to the menu. So I'm excited to try this out. Let's get a little bite of everything here. The texture of the pastry feels almost like a cream puff there. But we definitely got some rum and some of that tropical fruit there too. Oh my gosh. This is strong, guys. Instantly, as soon as I brought the spoon up to my face, I smelled alcohol. And you could certainly taste it as well. If you do not like the taste of alcohol, do not get this. You will not like it. But I think it's good. If it had like a little less rum, I think it would be a little bit better. But it's good. The pastry is totally like a cream puff. It's very light and airy. A little bit of that fresh lime zest on top is the perfect touch. I really like this compote as well. I can see some vanilla beans in there. It's really nice and sweet and tart. And this cream too. The like chantilly kind of cream that they have in the inside is good. but it's directly below the rum. I don't think I've ever had a dessert that I feel like could actually get me intoxicated. But I feel like if I eat this whole thing, I might feel a little bit tipsy at the end. Now, you have to be 21 plus to order this dessert as is, but if you wanted to try it and you weren't of age, you are able to get it without the rum. However, my server said he doesn't recommend it like that. He said the rum kind of makes this dessert here. And it's good. I definitely think the creme brulee is better, but I'm so happy I got to try this. Apparently it's like a traditional French dessert, and I love the presentation. It's tasty, but like I said, be warned right now, this is strong as heck. As I'm looking at my check here, I'm realizing that this cake isn't served originally with the rum. You have to add it on. So that $14.95 is just for the cake sans rum. If you want to add the rum, it costs an additional $3.95. And I just did the math. That makes this dessert $18.90. Almost a $20 dessert, but it's like dessert and a drink in one. So that's okay. Well, that was a nice little lunch we had over at Chefs de France. I always enjoy my meal there, and today was no different. We tried some things that are new to the menu and just new to me in general, and I'd definitely say I found some new favorites. The Ratatouille was very good, but I'm not sure how often I would order it opposed to some of the other entrees that I really enjoy there. I almost wished I had like an appetizer version of it, a smaller version so that I could get that as well as some other entree, because I really loved that shrimp and scallop dish we had. It was creamy, it had a great seafood flavor and a ton of seafood. And it was definitely better and more satisfying of a meal than what we had when we enjoyed brunch over at Chefs de France. I believe it was around during the Food and Wine Festival last year, and the Food and Wine Festival is coming up very soon. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna kind of bring it back or bring back a new version of it. I said it had room for improvement, but the potential is there. So I hope they bring it back this coming year. It has been a great day in Epcot. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon. I appreciate your support. If you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.